Young man, you too can become a hero.
Hey, welcome back to ScreenCrush. I'm Ryan Airy, and the day has finally come. We are recapping everything you need to know before My Hero Academia's final season. We're going to go through the series in their canonical order, so let's get right to it. So My Hero Academia takes place in a world where humans can be born with superpowers. These powers, or quirks as the show calls them, create a new profession for society, the role of the pro-hero. In the modern era, these are registered heroes who are treated like celebrities as they take down villains and save people. Izuku Midoriya is a quirkless middle schooler who wants to be a hero more than anything. He spends his free time analyzing superheroes and figuring out the practicality behind their powers.
One look at that dopey grin and I know what you are. A fanboy. Sorta.
Bakugo is Izuku's childhood friend turned bully. He gives Izuku the nickname Deku, which is similar to the kanji word for useless person or worthless Izuku. Bakugo's quirk allows him to ignite the nitroglycerin sweat from his body, creating explosions. Both of these kids want to go to UA High, the leading superhero school in the world. Deku wants to be just like his hero All Might, the #1 hero in the world and the symbol of peace. But most people laugh at his unattainable dreams since Deku himself is quirkless. On his way home from school, Deku is attacked by a sludge villain, but is soon rescued by All Might.
Texas Smash!
Deku asks his idol the question he's held on to since he was told he had no powers.
Is it possible to become a hero even if I don't have a quirk?
Before All Might can answer, he deflates into a weak and shriveled up form. All Might reveals that around 5 years ago, he was injured in a big fight and can only maintain his buff form for around 3 hours a day. He asks that Deku keeps this secret, but he also answers the kid's question.
Some villains just can't be beaten without powers. So no, I honestly don't think you could become a hero without a quirk.
Now, while they were distracted, the sludge villain got away and attempted to possess Bakugo. Deku sees his friend in trouble and leaps into action. His body moved before he could even think. Seeing this powerless nobody take action before all the other pro-heroes inspires All Might, and he leaps back in to save the two boys. He also decides that Deku is worthy enough to become his successor. After 10 months of rigorous training, All Might bestows his quirk, One for All, to Deku.
Eat this!
One for All is a quirk that can be transferred, which is unheard of for quirks in this world. At UA's entrance exam, the students have to take down robots for points. In the process, Deku uses One for All for the first time, which completely shatters his arms and legs.
I'm broken!
Deku struggles to score any points, but by saving another student's life, he passes the exam. So Deku gets into Class 1A where he befriends Ochako, the girl he saved during the exam. And Ida, a guy who praises Deku's save.
That puts me at 45.
They also meet their teacher, Mr. Aizawa, aka Eraserhead.
I erased your quirk. The judges for this exam were not rational enough. Someone like you should never be allowed to enroll at this school.
Now, during the hero classes, we get a sense of everybody's quirks. Some are more support-focused, while others are made for more flashy heroic saves. During a training exercise, Bakugo confronts Deku about how he got into UA and now suddenly has a quirk. Bakugo is a very prideful combatant. From a young age, he was told that his quirk was super strong, and he had a natural talent for fighting, like a prodigy. Meanwhile, Deku grew up quirkless, with everybody looking down on him, so their rivalry hinges on Bakugo wanting to stay ahead of Deku, while Deku just wants to match his friend's pace.
I didn't need your stupid help.
Are you alright? Are you hurt?
Deku has to be really strategic when he uses his powers, since his body can't handle it and he always ends up breaking his bones. His smart tactics and years of analyzing superheroes come in handy to win against Bakugo. At the USJ training camp, the students are attacked by Shigaraki. He's a new villain leading the League of Villains who's trying to kill All Might. He's held by Kurogiri, a villain with the warp quirk. After rescuing the worst character in the entire show, Deku and the other students decide to save their teacher. All Might shows up, but the villains have a monster called a Nomu. These are bioengineered villains made with multiple quirks. This particular Nomu was built to survive an encounter with All Might. Nevertheless, All Might pushes past his limits and goes beyond plus ultra to launch the Nomu into space.
Go beyond! Plus! Ultra!
Starting Season 2 with the students recovered, everyone gets ready for UA Sports Festival. All Might talks to Deku about the importance of making a name for himself.
How long I've been waiting for this. Woo, I'm about to make a name for myself here.
Now Deku doesn't want to be just a hero, he wants to be the next symbol of peace.
Introduce yourself to the world and proudly say, I am here.
At the festival, Shoto Todoroki takes an interest in Deku. Now, Shoto's father is the #2 hero, Endeavor, and his goal is for Shoto to surpass All Might. So Shoto treats this competition as training and uses Deku as a stepping stone. But Shoto actually hates his dad.
Yeah, I can relate. Don't get me started on that.
I know, but you really should call him.
No way, he's gotta call me first.
Well, anyways, Shoto wants to achieve his hero placement by only using his mother's ice quirk, not his father's fire powers.
Yeah, that'll show him.
The festival kicks off with a race around the school. Deku lands in first place, but he does so without using his quirk. Next, the students enter the cavalry battle. Deku teams up with Ochako. They are joined by Mei Hatsume, an eccentric support student, and Tokoyami, a 1A classmate with a super powerful quirk.
Offensive ability gets stronger when I'm in darkness, but that makes Dark Shadow aggressive and difficult to control.
Meanwhile, Bakugo teams up with Kirishima.
My quirk was made for this!
His team is antagonized by Monoma, a hero student from Class 1B who can replicate any quirk for 5 minutes. Shoto's team ends up winning this section of the games. Now, in between games, Shoto questions Deku's relationship to All Might. He informs Deku of his parents' arranged marriage and the origin of his scar. Both Shoto and Deku make their intentions for this festival known to each other. The final portion of the school's festival is a one-on-one tournament. Deku's first fight is against Shinso, a mind controller trying to get into the hero program. Now, during their fight, Deku sees vestiges tied to One for All, and they break him free of Shinso's hold, allowing him to advance to the next round. Ochako faces off against Bakugo. Now, Ochako wants to become a hero so she can take care of her parents, and while she has a great plan, Bakugo's sheer strength and experience net him the win. Now, during Deku and Shoto's fight, Deku pushes him to claim his fire powers as his own.
It's yours! Your quirk, not his!
And this is where we learn of his full backstory. Todoroki remembers All Might's words.
The most important thing to remember is that a quirk is what you make of it, regardless of your history. You decide how you use it.
Now inspired, he embraces his powers and beats Deku. In the hospital wing, All Might praises Deku for saving Shoto and reveals that he was quirkless as a kid too. The final fight is between Bakugo and Shoto. Now Bakugo wins, but he hates it because Shoto didn't use his fire powers. Bakugo's pride wanted Shoto to fight him just like he fought Deku. Now during the end of the sports festival, Ida gets some bad news about his older brother, a pro hero called Ingenium who was attacked by a vigilante. Now with the festival over, the students pick their hero names to get ready for hero internships.
Floppy! Charge Bolt!
King Explosion Murder.
I like that. It's nice and intimidating.
The sponsors from the sports festival scout out which students they think would help their hero agencies. Deku decides to reclaim this childhood insult as his hero name.
Someone taught me that it could have a different meaning. You can call me Deku, but I'm not helpless anymore. From now on, Deku is the name of a hero!
Deku interns with Gran Torino, All Might's mentor. There, he learns to distribute One for All's power throughout his body instead of concentrating that energy into just one area. This helps him not break every bone in his body whenever he powers up. Bakugo interns with Best Genist, the #4 best hero who tries to help Bakugo with his issues.
May your minds and bodies be as sharp as your genes.
Thank you, Best Genist! Damn it, I'm so ready to get out of this place.
Meanwhile, Ida takes an internship in the same city where his brother was brutally attacked. He's out for revenge on the vigilante who almost killed Ingenium. Ida recklessly attacks him. He's about to be killed, but Deku rescues him.
Meddling when you don't need to is the essence of being a hero!
The vigilante calls himself Stain, the hero killer. His quirk is that he can paralyze anyone by drinking their blood. Deku calls out for help in this fight and Todoroki arrives. The rest of the pro heroes have their hands full since the League of Villains also let a bunch of Nomu loose in the city. Now because of Deku's quick thinking, he, Ida, and Shoto are able to capture the hero killer. During the fight, Stain judges the fledgling heroes on their ideals. See, Stain professes his admiration for All Might and claims that heroes are a false title nowadays. Heroes who are in the business for fame or revenge are phonies, and he wants to cull the herd.
I will reclaim that word! Come on! Just try and stop me, you fakes!
Stain's ideals and rantings go viral online. The internet twists his words and their meaning, inspiring more people to join the League of Villains, which, Stain never wanted. After Deku recovers, All Might explains to him the full backstory of One for All. He explains that when quirks first arose, society was thrown into chaos and lawlessness. Criminals were running rampant, and people were unhappy with the quirks they were born with until a leader named All for One rose to power. Now, All for One was able to take and give quirks to different people. He quickly took over as a sort of mob boss, trading favors and building a loyal following. All for One also had a quirkless younger brother who saw his deeds and resisted him. All for One forces a quirk on him that lets him stockpile power. However, it turns out this younger brother did have a quirk. It's just that his quirk was the ability to pass down his powers. So these two abilities combine to create One for All. All Might says Deku is destined to take down All for One. The fight from 5 years ago put All for One into hiding, but he is expected to come back. What All Might doesn't tell Deku is that he probably won't be alive to see him win. The students move on to their final exams. They're placed in teams of 2 to fight one of their teachers.
We're fighting the teachers?
One of these fights is between Shoto and Momo versus their teacher, Mr. Aizawa. Momo is one of the smartest characters in the show, but she's developed low self-esteem from the sports festival. She and Shoto both got into UA through recommendations, so she compares herself to Shoto a lot. Once she puts some confidence behind her plan and speaks up for herself, they're able to take down Mr. Aizawa. During Ochako's exam, Aoyama asks her if she likes Deku, and she contemplates her feelings about him.
Is it because you like him?
Oh, I see what's gonna happen here. They're gonna do some Hanks Panks.
Finally, Deku and Bakugo take on All Might, so it starts off pretty much how you'd expect. Bakugo is a loose cannon trying to win in his own way. The two boys eventually compromise and beat All Might.
Hooray!
After everyone has completed their exams, the students take a trip to the mall to shop for their summer training trip. There, Ochako debates telling Deku how she feels, but Deku is held hostage by Shigaraki. So far, Shigaraki has aimlessly followed his master's commands, but he speaks to Deku to figure out what his own cause should be. He comes to the conclusion that All Might is the source of his problems and walks away with a new destroy everything in my way mentality. So now, Shigaraki has a goal toward his future. In between seasons 2 and 3, we have the My Hero movie, Two Heroes. Now we get a brief backstory of All Might's trip to California where he meets and creates a partnership with classmate David Shield.
Because of the suit you made, that was a cinch, and we'll make it back to class in time.
Well, we'd better.
Back in the present, Deku and his friends are invited to Island for an expo. Deku meets All Might's friend David, now a renowned scientist, and his daughter Melissa. So Melissa is a quirkless hero support student who dreams of one day becoming a scientist/inventor like her dad. She then presents him with a mechanical arm device that enables him to harness the full potential of his quirk without suffering any harm. All Might fills David in on his declining condition, which worries David deeply. Villains take over a gala at the island, restraining all the heroes except for our students. Its leader, Wolfram, takes control of the island security system and threatens to kill its residents, but the students stop. Deku and All Might team up using One for All to take down Wolfram. And David sees just how much Deku takes after his mentor. Celebrating their victory, David and All Might reflect on the world and know that it'll be safe in their successors' hands. Season 3 started with the newly assembled League of Villains plan to attack the hero students at the summer training camp. Headed to the private forested mountains, the heroes meet the wild pussycats who are running the training program. Mandalay, the telepathic cat, introduces her nephew, Kota.
It's nice to meet you.
Gee, I guess he doesn't take too kindly to heroes.
The first years are pushing their quirks to the limit to become stronger.
Shoto Todoroki! Alternating between ice and fire, he's regulating the temperature of the water.
Class A is joined by Class B, who is falling behind in practical experience. And we find out that Kota hates heroes because his hero parents died to a villain, leaving him all alone. Now, during what was supposed to be a fun test of courage, the camp is infiltrated by the League of Villains and the students are separated. We meet Dabi, whose quirk is Hot Blue Fire, and Twice, a villain who can make copies of people.
Whatever, Twice. Just make another one of me. We need to keep those pros occupied.
Another small fry coming right out. Leave it to me.
Kota is targeted by one of the villains, Muscular, the same villain that killed his parents. Deku saves him with all the power that he has, reinvigorating Kota's belief in heroes.
My hero.
Deku gives Kota to Aizawa and tells Mandalay that the villains are after Bakugo. Our students are formed into groups against several villains. Bakugo and Shoto are stopped by Moonfish, Tetsu, and Kendo are cornered by Mustard, and Deku joins his classmate Soji in fending off Tokoyami's out-of-control quirk, Dark Shadow. Tetsu and Kendo combine their powers to take out Mustard, while Deku and Shoji lead Dark Shadow to Bakugo and Shoto.
It started lunging at any sound or movement, a beast lashing out with indiscriminate attack.
Meanwhile, Ochako and Sue are approached by the villain Toga.
Thanks, Gunhead Martial Arts!
While trapped by Ochako, Toga stabs her legs and draws her blood. Momo, while injured, creates a tracking device and has it welded to a retreating Nomu. Now the girls meet up with our team and find out that Bakugo and Tokoyami have been captured by the villain, Mr. Compress. The hero students accost the gathered villains and save Tokoyami thanks to Aoyama's brave attack. The undefeated villains still manage to get away with the captured Bakugo and the missing ragdoll.
One of us was missing. One of the 6 pro heroes was in serious condition because of a blow to the head, but it was apparent that she'd lost a lot of blood.
Back at the school, the teachers speculate on the intel leak which led to the attack on the training camp.
There's a traitor at this school.
All Might gets a call from his police friend notifying him that they found a bar that could be where the villains are hiding Bakugo. While recovering at the hospital, Kirishima proposes to go save Bakugo. Feeling guilty for not being able to do anything during the attack, Kirishima convinces Shoto and Deku to accompany him on the mission. Ida, reminded by their battle with Stain, admonishes them for going. Assuring Ida and Momo that it's going to be a stealth-only mission, the group heads out, following the tracker the Momo placed on the Nomu earlier. At the bar, the villains offer Bakugo a spot in their ranks to join them in taking down Hero Society, to which Bakugo refuses.
Go throw yourself into traffic.
Good for him.
Right. All Might and a team of the top-ranking heroes rush into the bar and reclaim Bakugo. Meanwhile, our stealth team follows Momo's tracker to a Nomu manufacturing site.
Are those all Nomu?
Other pro heroes quickly collapse the plant and find an unconscious and quirkless ragdoll. Things aren't what they seem, however, when a mysterious figure steps out and quickly weakens all the heroes. Worst of all, Best Jeanist. Back at the bar, things take a turn for the worse when Bakugo and the rest of the league are summoned to the plant site.
No!
The mysterious figure is All For One, Shigaraki's master. He is the villain who caused the decline of All Might and inadvertently created One For All. The stealth team is now hidden, frozen in fear, but All Might soon reaches the battleground. While drawing blows with All For One, All Might tries to keep Bakugo from harm. The students find a way to rescue Bakugo without engaging the villains.
Come on! You idiots!
All For One also sends away Shigaraki and the rest of the villains.
Forcible quirk activation.
Wait. Don't. Master.
With Bakugo and the villains out of the way, All Might and All For One begin their historic battle. We see a brief flashback of All Might's backstory with his predecessor, 7th One For All wielder Nanashimura.
They need to rely on someone. That's why I want to be the pillar that gives people hope.
All For One fights hard, revealing All Might's emaciated nature to the world. To break him even further, All For One reveals a horrible truth.
Tomura Shigaraki, my apprentice? He's Nanashimura's grandson.
Now, despite being at an all-time low, All Might proves why he is the symbol of peace. With the whole world watching, All Might puts everything into taking the villain down, using the last remaining power of One For All. With All For One down and captured, All Might points at the camera, saying,
"Now, it's your turn."
Both construing as a warning to villains everywhere and that it's Deku's turn to take up the mantle of the symbol of peace. Now, due to student safety concerns and in an attempt to contain the intel leak, the students move into the dorms on UA campus.
A den of manliness.
Class A works on their ultimate moves to prepare for a provisional licensing exam. This permit allows them to intervene in a fight or incident regarding a villain. You see, back during the fight with Stain, the arrest had to be published as Endeavor's capture due to the illegality of the boys fighting a villain without a license. Now, while everyone adjusts to their moves and costumes, Deku visits Hatsume and gets new armor shoes to work on his new move.
Shoot style!
At the licensing exam, we meet 2 other schools.
Shiketsu High!
Katsubutsu Academy!
One of the teachers, Miss Joke, introduces a few of her students.
Today I'm gonna do my best to learn from you. I really hope you don't mind.
Stop pretending.
From Shiketsu, we meet Inasa, a boisterous first-year student who previously applied to UA before choosing Shiketsu. The first part of the licensing exam commences.
The examinee will put 3 of these targets on his or her body. Targets are programmed to light up whenever they've been touched by the ball. If all 3 targets light up, you're out.
Miss Joke explains this exam is where UA students get crushed quickly because everyone knows them from the sports festival. But Aizawa counters with,
perhaps at UA, we look a little further ahead than other schools.
The students are then split up. Deku struggles against Shiketsu student Kami. He ends up being saved by Sero and Ochako. Bakugo, Kirishima, and Kaminari match up against Seiji, another Shiketsu student. Showing their developing skills, Kaminari frees all of Seiji's victims. With all the groups working together, the entirety of 1A passes the first part of the exam. While waiting in the lobby, Inasa tells Shoto that they have beef.
I just can't help but hate both of you.
The second part of the exam begins and focuses on rescue.
Anyone who needs rescuing is having the worst day of their lives.
Now some take better to it than others.
Shut up! Save yourselves, you white-arse!
To simulate a villain attack, pro-hero gang Orca and his goons start going after the students. So this leads to Shoto and Inasa clashing, and Inasa explaining the beef with the Todorokis.
You're in my way. It's like he hates something that isn't even here.
With the test finally over, the students receive their licenses. Bakugo, Shoto, and Inasa end up failing. The Hero Commission Agency offers the people who failed the rescue test a chance to take a course. This helps them earn their licenses with the rest of their peers due to the looming threat of the villains. While the students head back to school, Kami is revealed to be Toga in disguise.
Himiko Toga. By ingesting someone's blood, she can transform into that person.
Back at UA, Bakugo confronts Deku on how he got his power. Challenging him to a fight, the two go head-to-head until Bakugo breaks down and confesses his feelings.
You got so much better! And I destroyed All Might! I admired him so much, but it's because of me that he ended up losing his power!
Understanding his plight, Deku gives him an outlet and matches Bakugo with his own strength. After Bakugo defeats Deku, All Might comes and comforts them both, letting Baku in on the secret of Ofa.
Ofa?
One for all.
I've no doubt you'll become the ultimate heroes, winning and saving people at the same time.
The childhood rivals vow to support and challenge each other properly from now on. Meanwhile, we learn about the villain Twice's backstory.
Ever since then, I haven't been sure that I'm the real me.
With Bakugo and Deku on probation, the rest of 1A learn about the work-study program.
To put it simply, it's work outside of class.
They then meet the big three of UA's third-year students, Mirio, Nejire, and Amajiki. Mirio fights the students as a demonstration with his permeation quirk. He explains his immense control and practice needed to make his quirk powerful and helpful to be a hero. At the start of Season 4, the League of Villains is visited by a crime boss named Overhaul. He wants the League of Villains' popularity and connections to extend to his Yakuza clan. His gang has developed a powerful drug, but they need more money. The League of Villains and Shigaraki turn him down. Now that Deku has his provisional starting license, he starts a work-study program at Sir Night-Eye's agency. Now, Sir Night-Eye is All Might's old sidekick and a huge All Might fanboy, maybe even more than Deku.
You attempted this blasphemous excuse of an impression on All Might's former sidekick? All Might's wrinkles aren't like this at all, you fool.
Deku is actually brought onto his agency on recommendation by Mirio, but Sir Night-Eye reveals that he disagrees with All Might's chosen successor. He takes Deku on as a work-study student, but he has an ulterior motive of getting him to pass One For All's power to Mirio. Now this eats at Deku's self-worth. He has seen Mirio in action and knows that he's an amazing hero with All Might's ideals to match. He considers giving Mirio One For All for the betterment of the future. On the first day of Deku's work study, he and Mirio run into the villain Overhaul, who they're trying to secretly gather information on. They learn that he's in custody of a girl named Eri, and she runs into Deku pleading for help.
Tell me, what are you doing to this girl?
Her arms are covered in bandages and she's trembling in fear, but returns to Overhaul when he threatens the heroes. Feeling conflicted about keeping One For All, Deku confronts All Might and asks him about his relationship with Sir Night-Eye. There, All Might tells Deku that Night-Eye uses his quirk to see his death, that All Might will die fighting a villain soon, and Deku has to be prepared to continue alone. Night-Eye's foresight has never been wrong before.
If you continue like this, you'll face off against a villain and die an unspeakably gruesome death!
During their work study, Kirishima and Amajiki discover the drug Overhaul is working on. The drug can temporarily erase someone's quirk. So 3 hero agencies rally together to try and take down Overhaul. They pool their resources for this operation, which teams up the work study students: Deku, Kirishima, Ochako, Sue, and the Big Three. Using the information they gather, they surmise what Overhaul is doing to Eri, and it's not pretty. See, Overhaul's quirk can completely deconstruct and rebuild anything he touches, while Eri's quirk can rewind things. But she can't really use it right now as she isn't properly trained. They come to the conclusion that Overhaul is crafting this new drug by using Eri's blood, hence the bandages she was wearing earlier. The heroes are assigned to different tasks in the mission. Sun Eater and Red Riot, aka Amajiki and Kirishima, both take on Overhaul's elite henchmen.
I won't regret anything! Now or ever again! We underestimated the hero named Red Riot and his chivalrous spirit!
Mirio, aka Lemillion, is able to use his quirk to slip through walls and reach Overhaul first. He fights like a pro and is able to save Eri. However, Mirio is tricked and takes a bullet, not realizing that the bullet was loaded with the perfected quirk erasing drug, completely depowering him. Nevertheless, he fights to protect Eri, which goes counter to what Overhaul believes in. He wants to erase quirks because he believes that heroes are a disease and powers give people the excuse to be reckless attention seekers. But here, he sees in Mirio, and later in Deku, heroes who fight selflessly to protect others. Deku tags in when Mirio can't fight anymore, and Night Eye and Deku take on Overhaul. During the fight, Night Eye uses his quirk on Deku, which lets him see the future. He foresees Overhaul killing Deku. Wanting to keep the power of One for All alive, he tells Deku to run away. But being a hero means that Deku can't turn his back on people in danger. He defies fate and proves Night Eye's foresight wrong, taking Overhaul on. Overhaul becomes more and more monstrous as he deconstructs his lieutenant's corpses, melding them onto his own body. Deku gets Eri to help. Now, watching everyone try to save her when she's already given up hope has reinvigorated her. She uses her powers to constantly rewind Deku back to perfect health so that he can use 100% of his power and not worry about breaking his body.
That's who I'm gonna be!
Now, in the aftermath, Overhaul's prison transport is intercepted by Shigaraki. He wants to completely break Overhaul's spirit, so Shigaraki crumbles Overhaul's hands, making it so he can't use his quirk anymore. Unfortunately, while our heroes are recovering from the fight, Sir Night Eye passes away in the hospital. He is surrounded by All Might, Deku, and Mirio. He finally acknowledges Deku as a worthy successor to All Might. He praises Mirio, assuring him that his future will be bright. Meanwhile, Bakugo and Shoto go to revisional class for their licenses with Inasa and the real Kami. Seiji then explains the quirk doomsday theory. So the theory states that as more quirks combine and are created, the powers these people will hold will eventually doom the world. We see that in these preschool kids who have powers that rival pro heroes. Here, while supporting Bakugo and Shoto, Endeavor asks All Might the secret to being the symbol of peace. Endeavor now needs to take over the #1 hero spot. All Might's words inspire Endeavor to reflect and try to right his wrongs, starting with his family. Now, back at UA, the work study students are processing the operation and the life and death situations they've been put through, bringing real weight to their careers as child soldiers. I'm just kidding, it's another school festival. After All Might's retirement and the overhaul operation, the students need a moment of levity, and this also helps Eri embrace her own inner sunshine. Class 1A decides to put on a concert. While Class 1B puts on what would make the ultimate ScreenCrush video.
You must have heard about your father from your mentor Gandalf. I am your true father! Join me!
An online criminal group consisting of Gentle Criminal and La Brava tries to interrupt the festival, but Deku takes them down before they can ruin the experience.
I'm turning myself in.
After becoming the official new #1 hero, Endeavor meets Hawks, the current #2 hero and Tokoyami's mentor. Hawks is a charismatic hero that looks up to Endeavor, so he wants to show Endeavor the threats near his home city. There, they are attacked by an intelligent Nomu who can speak. This Nomu gives Endeavor a run for his money. After losing an eye, Endeavor reconciles with himself and barely pulls together the victory. Season 5 starts right where we left off. It's revealed to us that Hawks brought Endeavor into a trap because he was working with the League of Villains. Dabi comes to collect the defeated high-end Nomu. Now, before the #5 hero Mirako can take him out, he escapes. Hawks argues with Dabi at the rendezvous about their attack plans. We're shown that Hawks is actually acting on behalf of the heroes, playing the role of double agent for the League of Villains. And we see a glimpse into Hawks' backstory, when the government discovered his powers and took him in.
Please, allow us to support your family while we help him reach his potential.
Now, mostly healed, Endeavor heads back home and tries to make amends with his family.
It's a bad scar. Looks painful.
Shoto's older brother, Natsuo, attempts to leave and admonishes Endeavor for how he wronged their family.
What happened to our big brother, Toya? You may have had a change of heart, but you can't waltz in here and think we'll accept you.
Their older sister, Fuyumi, aims to reunite the family and move on from the past, while Shoto plans to keep watch and see just how Endeavor plans to change.
Because I know something small can change a person, if they want it to.
Back at UA, Deku dreams about the vestiges of the previous One For All users. The dream shows that All For One was the elder brother of the first holder of One For All. Showing his dream of controlling superhuman society, All For One forces his stockpiling quirk on his brother. One For All then talks to Deku and encourages him for the future. Now comes another training arc. This time, Class 1A are split up into groups and take on teams from Class 1B. This also works as a trial run for Shinso, who has been taking lessons from Aizawa to join one of their hero classes. Shinso is teamed up with Class 1A for the first match. He demonstrates his new gear and how it works with his quirk.
It sounded like Shinso somehow talked with my voice.
Vocal modulator. Persona chords.
Ida reveals his new ability after upgrading his engines.
10 minutes!
Bakugo demonstrates his evolution and ability to work as a team, leading to a landslide win.
Thanks to unexpected teamwork, Class A wins with the day's first perfect score of 4-0!
In the last match, Shinso pairs with Class B against Deku's team. While being goaded by Monoma during the fight, Deku gets taken over by a new power.
It's too much! I can't hold back this power!
It's revealed that all the previous users live inside One For All, and Deku can utilize their quirks. The first one being Black Whip, a quirk of the 5th user. Ochako goes to protect Deku. We see a glimpse of her backstory and deepest wish.
Who protects the heroes whenever they're the ones who are hurting the most?
She urges Shinso to use his mind control quirk, and together they get Deku back to his normal self. Still in the competition, 1A works together and wins the training. Shinso passes the course and will eventually join the hero course in their 2nd year. Meanwhile, Aizawa tries to help Eri learn more about her power. Class 1A celebrates Christmas before their next work studies.
I'm supposed to say trick or treat?
During the Christmas party, we see that Best Jeanist is still considered missing. Deku, Bakugo, and Shoto begin a work-study program under Endeavor. He teaches them about parallel processing and using their quirks to their fullest potential. The 3 students thrive working under the now #1 hero. Deku and Bakugo are invited to the Todoroki estate for dinner. Shoto and Fuyumi want the family to stick together, but Endeavor's past crimes as a father are too much to ignore. That night, an Endeavor fanatic attacks their home to get a rise out of the hero. He kidnaps Natsuo, but the team saves him, with Deku now being able to use Black Whip more freely. Endeavor informs his family that they should leave him and move into a new house that was built nearby, so that their mother can come home.
Because I don't want forgiveness. I want to atone.
Aizawa and Present Mike rush to Tartarus, where we learn Kurogiri is actually a Nomu. His body was built on Aizawa and Mike's old friend from school. Now they try to reach out to him, but it works very minimally.
The 3 of us were in Class 2A together at UA High School, and we were all going to become heroes together!
And then we get a flashback to explain what the League of Villains have been up to. They retrieve a power that All For One left behind for them called Gigantomachia, a giant faithful to All For One. They also meet the Doctor, who wants to prepare Shigaraki's body to become the ultimate weapon. The League then receives threats from someone named Redestro. He is the leader of the Meta Liberation Army, a separate group of criminals who see the League of Villains as a threat to their domination. They threaten to report their location to the pro-heroes if they don't agree to team up. The League of Villains meet up with Destro and his sycophantic followers, but are not there to cooperate. We watch each of the villains' backstories.
Quit smiling like that! It's so creepy.
And the evolution of their power while fighting off the Meta Liberation Army. Toga's blood-stealing quirk now allows her to copy her target's quirk. Shigaraki is pushed to the edge by Redestro, and his decay quirk evolves to be even deadlier. His decay can now spread through targets he can't touch, which makes his dream to destroy everything much easier. We finally get Shigaraki's full backstory.
That it was an attack. And just like that, I didn't itch anymore.
By displaying this strength and ability to destroy, the Meta Liberation Army bow down to Shigaraki, giving him an army of supervillains. They join up and form the Paranormal Liberation Front. Our hero students are then called on to a mission which begins the First War. In between Season 5, we have the movie Heroes Rising. During a fight on a remote island, Deku gives All For One to Bakugo, and with their combined powers, takes down the villain. Now, despite thinking he gave up his powers, All Might figures out that One For All stays with Deku as the transfer into Bakugo was interrupted. The previous wielders of One For All wish Deku to keep it. Bakugo has no memory of even wielding it. So, Season 6 launches into the full-scale attack on the League of Villains. Every hero is part of the assault, with groups being divided into the forest, the hospital, and the villain's hideout. Mirko, Aizawa, Endeavor, and Present Mike encounter the Doctor in his high-end Nomus at the hospital. Meanwhile, at the villain's hideout, Hawks is tasked with keeping an eye on Twice. However, Dabi intervenes and almost kills him, but Hawks is able to kill Twice before he can support the villains. Tokoyami saves Hawks before he can die of the flames. Dabi then reveals his knowledge on Hawks' erased life.
Keigo Takami!
The heroes break Shigaraki out of his hibernation chamber. They halt his powering up sequence, which should have killed him. But by some stroke of bad luck, Shigaraki awakens and decays the ground around him, his quirk spreading for miles in every direction.
A miracle has occurred. Tomura Shigaraki is awake!
Everyone struggles to send more heroes in after the entire area was devastated by Shigaraki's decay. Shigaraki calls Gigantomachia into play. While helping with search and rescue, Deku hears that Shigaraki is dazed but looking for someone and assumes that it's himself. Bakugo goes with him to find Shigaraki. This is where we see Shigaraki's new upgrades start to take shape. He has borrowed quirks from All for One. He now has radio wave blasts and his body is virtually indestructible even without quirks. His new body is part human, part Nomu. Aizawa is on standby, erasing Shigaraki's quirk and keeping him from using decay again. Now, Gran Torino, Endeavor, and Bakugo have to protect Deku and Aizawa from Shigaraki. Gran Torino is gravely injured, and as the heroes are finally about to take down Shigaraki, he unveils his big plan.
These fools still don't know I have this.
A quirk deleter!
He stole them all the way back in Season 4 and has been waiting for this exact moment. He shoots it at Eraserhead and temporarily shuts down his quirk, allowing Shigaraki full range of his powers. In order to stop the quirk eraser from spreading, Aizawa cuts off his own leg. Deku unlocks the 7th one-for-all quirk, Float, to prevent Shigaraki from using decay on the ground. Now this was the quirk of Nana Shimura, All Might's predecessor and Shigaraki's grandmother. While Deku battles Shigaraki in the air, Bakugo devises a plan to bring Endeavor up to their level. It works, and Endeavor lets out a gigantic burn. But All for One intervenes and takes full control of Shigaraki's body. See, Shigaraki isn't meant to be the villain's successor. All for One was instead creating the perfect vessel for him to body snatch. He possesses Shigaraki and gravely wounds Endeavor. He's about to attack Deku when Bakugo realizes and his body moves before he can think, paralleling Deku and Bakugo's encounter with the slime villain from the beginning of the show. Bakugo is stabbed, which sends Deku into a rage-blinded frenzy. All for One in Shigaraki's body gets his hands on Deku and tries to steal One for All, but his body isn't strong enough. Shigaraki is finally down for the count, but the rest of the League of Villains arrive on the back of Machia. While Deku and Shigaraki have been fighting, the other Class 1A students have tried to slow down Machia, but Machia pushed through them.
I'll channel your chivalrous spirit and use your dose!
From the back of the giant Nomu, Dabi unveils his big plan. He tells the entire world that he is Toya Todoroki, Endeavor's firstborn son who died.
Come and dance with me in hell, won't you? Well, speak up, Dad!
Dabi exposes Endeavor's abuse to everyone, denouncing the #1 hero. He single-handedly shakes the country's faith in superheroes. Dabi also detailed Hawks' betrayal of Hero Society, saying that Hawks killed Best Jeanist to join the League of Villains undercover. To Dabi's surprise, when he tries to finish off Endeavor, he is stopped by Best Jeanist.
He's not dead!
Throwing a wrench into his big evil speech. Best Jeanist uses fibers to hold down Machia. Then Lemillion arrives at the scene, revealing that Eri has trained her time manipulation powers to give him his quirk back.
Don't apologize. This is why I've been practicing so hard.
After a constant tug-of-war battle, All for One makes an executive decision to retreat, and Shigaraki and the League of Villains escape. The heroes try to stop him, but they've suffered too many losses. But there's no time for regrouping because, as the heroes rest in hospitals and try to comfort the public, All for One puppets Shigaraki's body to lead a prison raid on Tartarus. This frees more than 700 villains, including Muscular, Stain, and All for One's actual body. He frees villains from 6 other prisons all over Japan, creating an environment of looting, raiding, and pure unrest. And while everybody recuperates, we learn more about the Todorokis. We learn about the progression of Endeavor's abuse of Rei, neglect of Toya, and stubbornness to train Shoto. Meanwhile, while recovering, Deku gets some exposition from the previous One for All users. They discovered that One for All was too powerful of a quirk to be held in super-abled bodies, so it was lucky that All Might and Deku received the One for All. They test Deku's resolve about killing Shigaraki. However, Deku holds his ground that One for All is a power to save people. Once Deku wakes up, he and All Might know that there's no going back. So, while the rest of the country enters a lockdown and evacuates to hero schools, Deku leaves his former classmates. He believes that it's best for him to shoulder the responsibility on his own since his classmates could be hurt in the coming war. Deku now patrols the abandoned cities like a vigilante. Now this is him at his strongest, using the stored quirks from previous users. He gets a rematch with Muscular and takes him down in one punch, showing just how much Deku has grown over the years. Eventually, Deku is hunted by Lady Nagant. She is one of the escaped prisoners and a former hero turned villain. She She saw the corruption in the government and decided to turn her back on Hero Society. Now she's working with All for One, having received new powers from him. During their fight, they debate about Hero Society and false promises that superheroes bring. Now Deku learns of these villains' backstories so he can come to terms with whether or not he has to kill Shigaraki. Seeing Deku in action, Lady Nagant decides to help the heroes again, but she self-destructs, putting her in a coma. It turns out that All for One left a failsafe in her new quirks. As Deku continues to push himself to the brink, saving civilians without resting for days, he looks more and more like a monster. With the country practically in martial law, they don't see Deku as a savior or a hero, he's just an infamous myth. The students of 1A worry about Deku and try to be there for him, but Deku pushes them away. He doesn't want any of them to get hurt and would rather shoulder the burden all on his own. However, each of his friends recount their memories when Deku intervened in their problems or came to their rescue. Two of the most important speeches finally reach Deku. Ida repeats what his friend taught him during the Stain arc.
Meddling when you don't need to is the essence of being a hero, right?
Bakugo finally apologizes for his behavior throughout their entire lives. It's a culmination of everything they have achieved. There's crying, I'm crying, it's beautiful.
That's okay, person. Strong men also cry.
Thank you. Now, when they bring Deku back to UA, the evacuees there don't accept him. However, Ochako speaks to the crowd about what it means to be a hero. She preaches how heroes do what they do for the masses, and when heroes need to be saved, it's the citizens' well wishes that let them continue on. This sentiment inspires the evacuees to finally embrace Deku. Among the evacuees are the people Deku saved, like Kota and this heteromorph civilian. Meanwhile, All Might is feeling dejected for not being able to keep up with his successor and runs into Stain. He challenges All Might and gives him hope. Stain assures him that the symbol of peace was never about All Might's powers, but the inspiration he became when he smiled and saved people. Once All Might accepts this, Stain gives him information that can turn the tide against the League of Villains. All Might and Deku reconcile with each other, and now the stage is set for the final battle. Season 7 starts in Japan with an all-time low under martial law. Superheroes from other countries are requested for backup. Only one hero answers the call, the #1 hero from the USA, Star and Stripe. Her quirk, New Order, allows her to command objects and people, essentially bending reality to her orders. All for One puppets Shigaraki to try and steal her amazing quirk.
It appears my little wager paid off. Goodbye, America!
He succeeds in stealing it, but Star gives her quirk a new order to destroy all other quirks when it comes into contact with them, kind of like a Trojan horse. So, when Star dies, she gives the heroes a massive advantage and time to plan. As the students are training, Hagakure, the invisible girl in Class A, stumbles upon Aoyama speaking to his parents. She overhears that Aoyama is the UA traitor, the one who leaked the locations of USJ practice and summer training camp. We learn that Aoyama was also born quirkless. His parents made a deal with All for One to give him the laser quirk, which is why it isn't compatible with his body. Aoyama and his parents are captured and questioned, but the heroes realize that now...
Do we now have a way of forcing them to fight on our terms?
Aoyama has given up all hope, but Deku reaches his hand out to him and says,
"You too can be a hero!"
inspiring him like All Might did for Deku all the way back in Season 1.
Young man, you too can become a hero.
The students prepare for the final battle at a makeshift base. Deku and Ochako have time to catch up and reflect. He thanks her for her speech, and the two think about Toga. They both want to rescue the misunderstood villains, so the heroes start their plan. With the help of Shinso, Aoyama and his parents are able to trick All for One and lure him into the open. Monoma surprises the villains by copying Kurogiri's warp quirk, transporting the heroes and separating the villains into groups, just like the USJ incident.
Look! I'm the one pulling all the strings! This is ridiculous!
The groups are as follows. Endeavor and Hawks fight All for One at Gunga Village. Shoto and Ida face off against Dabi in the city. Bakugo, Edgeshot, Best Jeanist, Sun Eater, Nejire, and Mirko fight Shigaraki at UA in a floating dome. Deku was supposed to be with the others at UA, but Toga pulls him through the beach portal. So now, Deku is an ocean away from his destined fight. Toga confesses her love to Deku in her twisted way. Ochako and Sue hold her off while Deku escapes. Shoto fights Dabi with his new technique. He's able to create cold flames with his new move, Phosphor, and defeat his brother. As the heroes receive the news and celebrate, All for One gets the upper hand against Endeavor and Hawks as they're both still recovering. They receive support from Tokoyami and Jiro from 1A, but all of them suffer injuries. Jiro, Tokoyami, and Hawks stall All for One while Endeavor recovers. They actually manage to crack his armor, but All for One lets out a huge-scale attack that would have killed them if not for Endeavor rushing in. He recklessly loses his arm, but channels a new one made completely from fire after thinking about his origin. Endeavor successfully burns All for One to a crisp, but he has an ace up his sleeve. All for One reverse-engineered Ares' quirk from one of the quirky racing bullets so that his body would rewind in time once he died. At the same time, Dabi tries again and copies Shoto's new technique. Back at UA, the heroes have to stall for Deku to return. Even after Monoma helps erase Shigaraki's quirk, he's able to form these tendrils of fingers and alter his body so they have to keep dodging him. Mirio shows up and the big three put up a fight. While hurling insults at Shigaraki, a small piece of Tomura responds back,
"I've got friends, huh?"
Miku and Tomo said I was really nice, and Mono always barks to go on walks with me!
Their plasma cannon team-up move isn't able to hurt Shigaraki, so a wounded Bakugo makes his last stand. His quirk levels up, spreading the explosive energy throughout his body, and he's able to go toe-to-toe with Shigaraki for a few minutes. Eventually, though, Shigaraki blasts the hero's back and Bakugo seemingly dies.
Oh no!
Best Jeanist and Edgeshot do very reckless surgery in order to preserve his heart. Shigaraki forms armor around himself, making himself a juggernaut made out of hands. Before Shigaraki is able to kill Best Jeanist, Mirio uses his humor to buy them just 2 seconds.
Hey you! Brought a peach for ya!
That hesitation is enough for Deku to finally arrive on the battlefield.
Izuku Midoriya.
He grieves the state of his friends, especially Bakugo. His blind rage is exactly what Shigaraki wanted, but Mirio calms him down. In their fight, Deku uses the last of his one-for-all quirks, the second user's Gear Shift. It lets his body operate at an insanely strong strength and speed, pushing him to 120%.
Gear Shift! Overdrive!
But if he doesn't finish this fight in the next 5 minutes, the quirk wears off and takes a major toll on his body. Deku uses all of his powers to let out a massive smash on Shigaraki, but it isn't enough. Meanwhile, Present Mic, Koda, and Shoji from Class A keeps a mutant-type mob from inflicting damage to the hospitals and its residents. A hawked-out villain Spinner leads their new mob to free Kurogiri from where he's being held in the hospital. The heteromorphs think this riot will help them get justice on the violence inflicted upon non-human-looking people. We see Shoji's backstory and how he was abused for his unhuman-like stature back in his hometown.
After I came in contact with one of them, they banded together to beat me. Said it was a blood purification.
With the help of his new friends, we finally see Soji confident enough to have his mask down and stop the riot within the hospital. But Spinner ends up awakening Kurogiri and turns the tide towards the villains. Dabi and Toga are teleported to Gunga Village. Toga ingests twice his blood and demonstrates why Hawks needed to remove him off the board. His endless clones are overwhelming the heroes at every location. Now, Endeavor and Dabi have to face off father to son. Deku is able to recover after using Gear Shift because his punch tore a hole in Shigaraki. All for One and Shigaraki are now fighting for control over their shared body. The heroes receive support from reformed villains. La Brava is able to counter the League of Villains hacker, and Gentle Criminal creates an air bubble for the coffin in the sky to stay afloat. Before Shigaraki can counterattack, Lady Nagant shoots his hand off. The students from Shiketsu High aid in fighting All for One in his new younger body.
You sure that's All for One? When did he get a face card?
Mina, Kirishima, and Shinso avenge Midnight and control Makia against All for One. Makia is eventually put down and AFO steals Hawk's quirk. Meanwhile, Dabi's ambition is storing firepower inside of his body. They calculate that his body is reaching nuclear bomb levels of destruction. At the same time, a younger All for One is on his way to UA. If both All for One and Shigaraki are in the same place, it is all over for the heroes. All Might dispatches Shoto and Ida to help take down Dabi.
You know how to run, don't you?
While Endeavor fights Dabi, he notices that the new Phosphor technique has raised ice powers in it. Endeavor realizes that if he had just cultivated Toya from the beginning, things could have turned out differently. He's ready to sacrifice himself to stop Dabi, but the rest of the Todoroki family come to his aid. Endeavor finally fully apologizes to his son and his family. Elsewhere, Ochako and Sue follow Toga through the portal. Toga's Dead Man Parade is about to overwhelm the city and the safety of UA. As Sue tries to talk to Toga, Toga severely stabs Ochako. Toga unleashes the more powerful Sad Man's Death Parade, but Ochako experiences a quirk awakening and is able to float all of the Twice bodies away. After hearing each other out, the girls come to an understanding and Twice's quirk wears off of Toga. With Ochako on death's door from the stabbing, Toga gives her a blood transfusion similar to what Twice did for her. They both pass out, embracing each other.
Oh, that's so nice.
All Might stands in All for One's flight path. He may be quirkless now, but he had Melissa's shield build a suit of armor that lets him fight the de-aging All for One. Many of the heroes believe that All Might is recklessly sacrificing himself, but he knows better.
My whole life, I have never once fought, thinking there was even a chance I could lose!
The armor draws inspiration from each of the Class 1A students. So, as All Might and Deku stand in front of their villains, the final fight is still ongoing. The season ends, and their conclusion will come in Season 8. So guys, that's everything you need to know before Season 8 of My Hero Academia, but huge shout out to Srinidhi Rao and Ethan Ng for writing this video. You can find their links below. And let us know, what do you think is going to happen in Season 8? Are you excited? Tell me in the comments, or you can find us on our free-to-join Discord server. And if it's your first time here, welcome to the channel. Please subscribe, smash that bell for alerts. For ScreenCrush, I'm Ryan Airy.